Cody with Panda Bass Fishing, back with you for another video. Today we're going to be doing a gear review. Me and Paul love doing these for you guys. They've been super helpful for us in the past, so we decided we're going to keep doing these for you guys watching. Stay tuned, let's get to it. Today's gear review, I've got two baits, a hard bait and a soft bait. Didn't plan that, just happened that way. I got a reel, and I've got some apparel. We'll go with apparel. Yeah. I'm gonna start with baits, and I'm gonna start with soft baits first. And I want to talk about this one right here. These are the Googan Slim Shakes. So these are marketed as a shaky head worm, and that is exactly what I used it for. What me and Paul have been using it for. And I say marketed as because it's a straight tail worm, and you can use this for anything basically. Any application where you can use a straight tail worm. It is completely flat on one side, which is worth noting. So some of those applications might not be the best, but I'll pull one out. So full disclosure, this is my very first bait I've thrown by Googan, actually. Soft bait or hard bait. Totally first one. If you've watched a video, well, if you've been following for a while, you've seen a video months back of us fishing at Lake Skinner in Southern California. And on day two, yes, day two of that video, we killed it on shaky heads at that lake. I mean, put in work.
That is. Oh. Got him. That was dead. Oh, he's a good. Get the net.
Dokie.
And it was all with this right here. This is the Slim Shake. It's nothing really that different, guys. I mean, like I said, you can see, I don't know if you guys can, but it's completely flat on one side. It's ribbed. This is actually a good representation of it. It's ribbed all the way down, except for in the really skinny part. And this thing has got great action in the water. It's super soft. It looks really natural. You can work it really good. You can work it real fast and aggressive. You can just let it stand there and shake, and it sits up really well. This pretty bulbous tail does a lot of action for you. It's a great bait. It's 6.5 inches long. It's the perfect size. It's not too big. It's not too small. I mean, if you watch that video, we'll link it up here in the corner. I mean, we were catching some 5s on this little 6.5 inch worm. It's a great worm. Being that it is soft, it is kind of delicate. And I say delicate in the sense that I was using shaky heads that had twist lock on it. After a while, and I mean just casting, this stuff would start to come apart at the nose. A lot of that is because this nose, well, one, it's because this bait is soft. All soft baits, unless you're talking about Elastec, any soft bait like that, like a Cinco, is going to be delicate. The problem with the twist locks on this is that this head is so skinny at the top. So all we did is I was just, after the first couple worms I went through, I just went through and I cut it at this second rib right here, just so it was more fat, just a little more meat for that twist lock to get into, and never had a problem with that. As far as after fish catches, 2, maybe 3 out of one worm, and then it's pretty much, you know, you're either cutting it down so far that you've got a little tiny Ned bait, or you're just getting a new worm. So one negative is for me is that, yeah, it is, you know, they're kind of delicate. I don't really care that much, but I know some people do. Some people like their stuff to last, and you know, you could try super glue up on the head, but even then, where your hook comes through after a few fish, it's toast. The only thing, my really only complaint with it is that head. I mean, this is 2021, guys. You guys are a brand new bait company, marketing shaky heads. Most shaky heads have twist locks. I shouldn't have to cut the head off this thing. So my advice to Googan is fatten up that head a little bit so that we can get our twist locks in there without it coming out. Otherwise, overall, it's a terrific shaky head worm. Me and Paul love it. And it's a 9-pack, and the price on it, they're about $5. So, you know, 9-pack, you might get 3 fish and 27 fish, $5. It's a good deal for me. So, moving on. Let's go to reel. I'm not gonna do their bait yet. This is, if you saw a video, we unboxed one of these. Actually, did we? We had like a sneak peek that we had our hands on a few. And that is the Lews Sp Reel. That's their skipping and pitching reel. These things were impossible to get a hold of for a very long time. I found them in some little tackle shop online in Kentucky and ordered a few of them when I saw they had them in stock. As far as I know, Tackle Warehouse still doesn't have them in stock, but I haven't checked in a while. Let's talk about it a little bit. This reel is obviously, if you guys don't know, this reel is a skipping and pitching reel, and that is what it's for. I want to say it's only what it's for, but extremely shallow spool. And when I say shallow, I mean like this is 50-pound braid, and it's probably got about 30 yards on it, maybe 40, maybe 40. 45. 20-pound fluorocarbon, you're not getting hardly anything at all. You might get like 25 yards or so, but it's designed and meant to be for flipping and skipping. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot of line when you're just flipping. You're doing, 10, 12, 15 foot flips from the boat into shallow grass or shallow timber. And as far as skipping, a long skip, it might be, 15 yards. So there's definitely not a problem with that spool. It's actually really nice when you're skipping. When you're skipping with a bait caster and you backlash, it's a pain because now you gotta dig thing out super deep, especially if you got braid or something. With this, there's just not a whole lot of space for it to backlash super deep, so you can always basically just pull it right out if you backlash. But overall, it's a great reel. I mean, it's a reel that's in its price range for Lews. It matches up with everything else in that price range for Lews as far as the reel itself goes. It's smooth. It's got great drag, casts like a dream as far as you can with that spool. But it's got, you can see the dial. I don't know if you guys can see real well, but it's got all the way from max 10 on the dial right here. And you go all the way to free, and there's actually one past free, and that's skipping. That's just where I keep it for everything, and it works really good. It's really smooth. One thing, there's like a learning curve with this that I have found is I forget I'm got a spool that doesn't hold very much, and we'll be going along, maybe we found the pattern of flipping that day, and I'll be flipping, a creature bait or a jig into some grass or timber going along, burning bank flipping. And then I'll see something like a point immediately in my head because I've been doing it for years. I'll just be like, I'm going to throw this thing out there and drag and hop it over that point. Well, the problem with that is with this, you go to, and all of a sudden you've unspooled and you hit your knot. Hopefully you've had a good knot at the end and you stop and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't just send your bait and all your line flying off. So there's a learning curve. That's not this reel's problem at all. That's my problem. But just be aware of that. If you're one of those persons that does that, if you get a hold of one of these, remember that spool size. What else about the reel? It's 8:3-to-1 gear ratio, super fast, obviously for flipping and getting fish under docks when you're skipping. It is super light. We'll put up the specs on it right here. Exactly. It's a good reel, guys. I mean, I wish I had some more time on it this past season. I'm going to get some more time on it this coming up here in the next few months. But I really like it. I think it's perfect. They're the first company that's done a reel like this that's really meant just for something, that's geared that way towards just one style, really two styles, obviously skipping and pitching, but they did a terrific job. It also, Lews is doing all this now with their little bait keeper here. Flip up in the back. That thing's awesome. You don't even notice it's there. Half the time I forget and I still hook it on the freaking, the metal frame of the reel, or I hook it on the dumb one on my rod. But this thing right here is awesome. Lews is doing that with all their reels now, I believe, all their new reels. It's a great reel. The only thing that I would change about this reel is, and I'm talking honestly, the only thing I would change are these grips. These grips are normal shape grips, but they're that super dense foam, and I can't stand that stuff. I wish they were like plastic. I wish they would have just done those combat grips that they're doing on the Tournament Pro and on a couple other reels. Super textured grip, even just regular plastic, in my opinion. Regular reel grips would have been better. I don't like this foam stuff. I get it, they're sticky, your fingers don't slip on them, but I wish they would have done something different. I don't like that stuff. Let's move on, guys. Okay, let's talk about, let's go baits. I want to talk about this guy right here. This is the River to Sea's newest size, I believe, of their Whopper Plopper, and this is the Whopper Plopper 75. Now, if you guys haven't seen it before, this thing has a totally different look than the other Whopper Ploppers. For instance, I have a 90 right here, and that's the basic profile of a Whopper Plopper. It's the one we've all known and love. And then there's this one. Totally much wider down here, much more drastic of an arc here. And you'll notice that while this one is, 15 millimeters longer, notice the tail size between these two. This 75 has a enormous tail for the size of its body. Now, I don't know if that's because of how wide this thing is to counteract maybe something here with how drastic this angle is in this Whopper Plopper, but it has an enormous plopping tail. Now, I have been going back and forth with this little bait for a long time. Does it catch fish? Yes, it catches fish. Of course it does. It's a Whopper Plopper. Does it generate more bites because it makes a different noise, being that it has this giant plopper and such a small body? I'm not sure, but I can tell you what it does do, and that's make me very angry most of the time. And I don't know if it is the shape of the body. I don't know if it's the size of the tail in relation to the size of the body. This thing is a nightmare to keep plopping. If you have a glass day on the water, I'm talking no chop at all and no boat traffic, completely glass, this thing works like a charm. Works like every other Whopper Plopper we've all thrown. We all love them. It plops. It's a cast and retrieve bait. If there's any kind of chop on the water, and I mean any kind of chop at all, I'm talking wind, boat traffic, or just little tiny ripples, this thing stops plopping. And it's almost like this tail is getting, like it's sinking itself. Like it's coming over, going through the water, and then it hits ripple, and it's like this thing like pulls it down, and it stops plopping. And it almost, I don't say it takes a dive, because it doesn't really go underwater, but it just it's like drowning itself out. And I have not, me and Paul have not figured out why. We both have tried and tried and tried, and it's kind of a pain. It really is. I've caught fish on it. You guys have seen. I'm sure there's a video like right here. It's really kind of annoying, and we've tried everything. I've tried the line, thinking, okay, maybe it's a line problem. So normally, as you guys know, I throw Braid to a monoliter for most of my topwater, with the exception of some. I tried that first, obviously. I had that problem. So then I went to just straight Braid, thinking that maybe there was, as something was happening in the mono, it was catching some slack and then coming back, and it was dipping it under or something. So I tried to go straight Braid. I tried to go straight mono. Nothing has worked. It's done the same thing every time. So I don't know. And maybe it's something that I'm doing wrong. If you guys have had the same problem and figured it out, please let me know. Because I do think, it's a different profile. It's not something a lot of fish have seen, and it makes a different noise because, it's this big tail with such a bulbous small body. It's a different noise, something that they haven't heard. But that being said, when I want to throw a smaller topwater plopping bait, I'm still going to this guy. I'm still going to the 90, because I know this thing will plop every single reel turn, every single cast. if you guys are looking to try it, I would be, you know, I'm telling you right now the problems I've had. I'm not saying don't go buy it and try it for yourself, because you could probably figure it out, because I'm not that smart. Or if ever to see, if you're watching, hit me up with emails, let me know what's going on. That's how I feel about it. It's a great bait. I wish it would work all the time, except for when it's just glass out, there's no ripple in the water, because it's a great bait and it gets bit. So that is the Whopper Plopper 75. Now, last item, let's move to apparel. These are the Fish Monkey gloves. These are UPF 50 plus. These are the knuckle gloves. They're fingerless. I'll show you guys just for reference. These are the extra larges, I believe. These are 2X, sorry. Double X. I got big hands, so these things are terrific. I love these gloves. You guys know I was using, oh man, I've used the Sim Solar Flex gloves. I've used like some regular knockoff gloves that were terrible. I've used the Huck gloves, which are great. These are my favorite ones so far, and these are my first ones that I've used that are all fingerless. I've had some that were fingerless in like these last 3 fingers, or like had some windows in the bottom side of the fingers. But I really actually do like the fingerless gloves. I know they're kind of lame. But if you're just wearing them while you're on the boat, it's okay. Especially in the summer, because your hands don't get as hot with having no fingers. Now, I wear these for multiple reasons. Obviously my tattoos, so I'm trying to keep those covered up at all times, so I always wear these. I always wear gloves, I should say. And 2, I know you guys, I take a lot of beef for this, but that's okay. I hate when my fingers get tore up from fish. It drives me nuts. I don't know what it is. Fish don't like the taste of my thumb, but when I get my thumb in a fish's mouth, they tear me to shreds every single time. So I usually wear gloves. Now these are like a neoprene on the top. Like I said, UPF 50, really stretchy. On the bottom, they are like a type of leather. They're really thin. They're not thick. That was one problem I had with those Sim Solar Flex gloves that I didn't get to put a whole lot of time into, because they flew out the back of the boat while getting towed, because I left them in a cup holder. But I did get quite a bit of use out of them, and that's one thing I didn't like, was that lamb. It was actually sheep lamb leather that was really thick and not super pliable, and that was the only thing I didn't like about those. This stuff is really soft, really thin, so it gives you that protection you want, but also doesn't really impede, like you feel like your hand is stiffed out, like, and you can't move it. It's got this really cool monkey, kind of looks like the Gas Monkey Garage monkey, and it's actually like not just for looking cool. It is super sticky. It's like a silicone base deal. I don't know, but it's, I mean, like, you can't move this thing. So, and it's got that up on the fingers too. So you're not slipping around when you're holding your rod or holding your reel. Just overall great glove, guys. They come in a bunch of different colors. We got, you know, to match our logo and stuff, green and black. They also have a bunch of different gloves. They're basically the same, but they do different finger lengths. They do different weights for like winter. But honestly, these are the best gloves I've used so far, especially because I fished them throughout the whole summer and my hands didn't get hot and they didn't start sweating. And I don't know, like I said, I've never used fingerless gloves before, so I don't know if that was a deal. I'm sure that helped, obviously, but these stayed really cool. The neoprene on the back is super thin, still that UPF 50 plus, they say. But I really highly recommend these gloves if you guys are looking for gloves that are comfortable, protect your hands, you know, from the sun, from the fish when they're trying to be jerks. That's all I got for you guys. If you guys have anything that you want us to review, if we haven't used it or we don't know about it, we will get it and we will use it and we will do reviews on them. Just let us know what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to know about, what you guys want to get our opinions on. Like I said, if we haven't used it before, we'll get it and we'll put it through the test. We're not going to do a review on anything, whether it be reels, rods, baits, or apparel, till we're for sure on our opinion about it. So I wouldn't do a review on anything that I wasn't sure I was giving you guys accurate information about, or that I've only been using for a week. So if there's, like I said, if there's anything you guys want to know about, anything you guys want to hear about, if we haven't used it, we'll get a hold of it ourselves. We'll put it to the test. We'll let you know. If you guys haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, comment down below, let us know what you guys want to hear about, let us know what you guys think about these products I did a review on today, and we'll catch you on the next video.